Hi, I'm Cyaneink and today we are having decluttering video for my art supplies and this will be part 1 of the 3-part series. So if you want to see the upcoming parts, remember to subscribe and click that bell icon so you will get notification when I post next video. And in today's video I will talking about what stuff I going to declutter and what I'm going to keep. And here you can see like nice sort of my clean workspace. And I'm not going to give so much of the like general tips, like I'm more going to be about the how it goes specifically with the art supplies. And some things I'm going to say here before we are getting into the like decluttering is that first step should be that you should get everything out, like every drawer, empty them, all of them in the same place and sort them. And sort them in by medium, so when you are going through, you go through by category and you are easy to spot the duplicates. And like obvious things, throw out anything that is not working, like dried up markers, or some things that you have been meaning to repair but you are not going to repair. Throw them out as well. And in later I will show how I have like 2-bin system, but that is like the first step, like get everything out and sort them. And at the same time you will get good chance to like wipe your workspace clean because it's empty. And it makes much easier to like put all the stuff back in when you have like empty shelves and empty drawers waiting for you. So first tip is having 2 bins. I have here a bin that I call like maybe bin. And this is kind of different concept than usual because I have the maybe bin that keeps everything, stuff that I'm like hesitating and thinking, oh, I could maybe use in this project and are maybe using it that way. I will keeping them here. And for example, I have like some watercolor crayons here, some of my old acrylics which I may use at some point, some watercolor sets, some brush pens, and stuff I want to try out before I throw them away if I don't want to use them anymore. And this is something that helped me a lot. As you can see, this bin is really full because it's something I can like throw there, and I have like expiration date for this bin, and I try in the half a year I try to go through every of these items and reconsidering do I want to keep it or not. So this is something, if you are hesitant about the item, put it on the maybe bin. And maybe bin is something you can keep on the closet or close by, and ideally go through it right after the declutter, but I know that it's sometimes not possible. And here's my regular donate or like dig up clutter bin. And how I want to go here in the initial process, I just have one donate bin like this one, which has everything inside. I'm not thinking like, will this item find good new home? Will I be selling this? Will I be donating this? Anything like that. I'm just like tossing everything here that I'm thinking I'm not keeping. I will like later go through this and try to like rehome all of these. Like I have some non-art supplies here as well, like my camera tripod, which I like never use. And some old mics and stuff like that. So everything you think like you are not going to use, you are not going to need, just goes here. Same, I have some cans and papers I will like never going to use. Same goes with the palette. Some of the 3D puzzles I'm not going to use. So, but really having these 2 bins is helping me to declutter more, and mainly of those maybe items, because these are some items I wouldn't throw here instantly because I'm like, I might need them, I might want to use them, I might enjoy them, so I want to still keep them a little bit. But there's also this like little maybe, so that's why it's called maybe bin. So I may not like them. Like with these crayons, I got this for 1 course, and I have been using these afterwards. I don't like crayons usually because they are like sticky and they smell, but with these ones I think I will give this a second chance and then decide, do I really want to keep this or will I just like rehome them. Then let's speak about the duplicates and stuff that is like excess. And here you can see my like highlighters. At one point I was really drawing with the highlighters, and I bought quite many of these styler ones, and I can say I have never refilled one of these stylers. and I have traveled a lot with these. And I also used a lot of these when I was studying in university. But this amount of the highlighters, I would say it's excess. Like, it's too much. There's duplicates also. There's the smaller ones from the Styler, which have a little small bullet point tip. Then there's these two, like this huge, like big tipped Stylers, and also has some that are brush tipped from the big. What I could get rid of? Well, I could save all of them, which wouldn't be good. These things have refills, and I would save all of these, but then I still have quite a bit. These take quite a bit of space. I don't use this so often. I don't study anymore, and I don't use highlighters as often, but I sometimes use them. So for me, I'm looking like what I use. I like to use this for drawing. For drawing, I never use these ones. I always use these big ones because they have the brush head. And for the colors I never use pink or orange rarely. I use mainly yellow and green. So I'm saving these two, and these two are not going. Got it. For these ones, I'm getting rid of this because these take so much space. You can see that they are like huge amount. Also, they have the refills. This one I'm keeping because this is something I can put them onto my pencil case and they don't take that much space. And also I use them for drawing because they have finer bullet tip. So if you have duplicates and you have a lot of like same stuff, really think which is the ones you use the most, which take the less space. Even if I know that these, if I would use a lot of highlighters, I would pick these two because these have the refills. But I don't use them that much and I don't need the refills, so I'm not taking them. But it's really case by case. You should be thinking like which are the best items to leave on your stash and which are best to like rehome. Now I want to talk a little bit about the big items when you are decluttering. And these are two like my main things. And this one is my watercolor water bucket, the larger one. I rarely paint anything big scale, and if I do, I have also really similar water bucket for the acrylics, which I actually use regularly. But this is something I have been using like once in the past, I think, year. And it was when I was watching, and I can easily replace this with like larger container of water. But you can see it's quite bulky, so it takes quite a bit of space. Even if I have used it before, it's still taking too much space for its use cases. And this is something I want to think about when I'm decluttering. Like if I have easel that is so really big, but I use it only like 1 or twice a year, I was thinking getting rid of this easel or storing it somewhere else. This, however, is really annoying to store because it's so big. Also, you could use this for like maybe storing your brushes in. But in my case, I will probably just get rid of this because it's so bulky and takes so much space in the drawer. Other big item, and it's a Himi palette in my case. I have the 24 palette of Himi, and this is the older set, so it has those large pans. Oops. So, but this one takes so much space, and at the same time it takes a little bit less than the bucket because it's so like slim. But at the same time, it takes quite a bit of space. And this is something I have been thinking in the future. I'm not going to refill this palette if I ever going to use this up or it will dry up in point of no rewetting. I will getting second Himi palette that is smaller, that has smaller form factor. It has like half size of the pans, so it's half smaller. So when you're decluttering, you can also think that it's their option to size up smaller. And I think this Himi palette is actually something that I could easily rehome and find good home for somebody that has maybe lesser art supplies and isn't bothered by having such big palette. Because I usually paint my gouaches in the sketchbook. This is something that is really not like sketchbook friendly size. So this is also something you can keep in mind. Can you resize some items smaller? Same goes with the watercolor palette. Can you work with the smaller size of the palette? now I want to talk a little bit about how you can break the sets even if you are, like if you have some things you are unsure, like these brush pens are some things I only use this one because this is light blue, this looks really nice on my planner. I don't use pink, I don't use these bright colors at all, these are too dark, so I can declutter these and only save this one which I use. So it's okay to break the sets if the sets has like items you don't use. Same goes with this one. Don't think that you use only these brush pens. And yeah, I use these, but I use the green and I use these 3 browns. But this red one, which actually is a free sample, I never use because I'm not big of using reds. So I can put this away. And similar thing goes with these. This is a set of graphite pencils. And I'm a bit weird. I don't enjoy doing graphite. I rather sketch with the graphite. If I sketch with the graphite, I use H lead. I like to use also the F, which is like a bit harder than the HB, but not so hard as the H, so it's like in between. Also 2H is something I use. I use mainly these 3 pencils. So I will actually give these rest of these pens away and save only these 3 for myself because these are the ones I actually use. There's no point of keeping this case and all of these excess pens I like never use. It's like much smarter way to just take the items you use because I don't do like finished graphite bases anymore. I don't need like the full range of the graphite pencils. A little bit similar than the sets. This actually I bought because I really like the case. But it comes with the wooden palette, which I never use with acrylics. They dry super fast on the wood because wood soaks all the moisture out of the paint. And then there's some brushes. I doubt I will never use these. Same goes with the palette knife and the paints. What I will do this is that I will actually rehome everything that is inside here and just keep this nice case, which I actually got the set for. So I'm sure somebody will be really happy to having small acrylic set, and I will be happy to have the case. Then about the old supplies you may have in your stash, and I have these really old graduate acrylics from Daler and Rono. These are all still good. They are still paintable. They are not hardened or anything like that. But I recently upgrade and got some really nice golden acrylics. I usually actually use golden open ones. Oh, and there's one golden sample bottle here. But use golden ones, and I also have Amsterdam acrylics. So I haven't been reaching these graduate acrylics as much as I used to be. But you can see these are well out, so these are definitely supplies that have got some use, but may not get use in the future. And where these actually are going, this one actually I'm going to declutter because I'm not ever going to use the pink. But these paints will go to the maybe bin we talked earlier. So I still want to save these. If I like feel there are some colors I want to use, or there's some project I want to use these up, I will save these. But if I'm not going to use them, they are going to be rehomed. But this is something I'm not keeping in my acrylic stash anymore because I feel that I have been like growing out of these. Then I want to talk about like project specific or like course specific materials you might have. I was on the one course that was recommended to have like aquarelle pastel type, and these are actually more like Neocolor 2. But these are Finnish brands from Wennerström. These were easier to get for me. So they are like water-soluble crayons. And I used these on the course, and you can see that I didn't use them that much afterwards. And I don't like crayons. I don't like how they feel. I don't like how they smell. So these are the items that I had only for the course and only for the like specific course, and I probably will like not use this again. But I still want to give this a chance because I actually enjoyed using these. So these are going to maybe bin, and I'm going to test, do I want to keep these or do I want to give these away? And this is something you should really consider if you have many of type of project work and coursework that you have bought the specific supplies for and haven't been used them after that. So those may be like a good place to declutter.
So if you want to see more decluttering content and kind of more in depth, where I go like piece by piece, I actually have older playlist where I go with the KonMari method through all of my art supplies. I have it on the playlist here, and I will link it in the video. And it has 3 hours of me decluttering my art supplies. This is older video from 6 years ago, but it's still valid and the same reasons still apply. So yeah, there's quite a lot of content available. And next week I will have a second part of this series, which will be more focused on the organizing and how you can get like your art supplies organized in the way that it makes the most sense.